friends, today I'm going to teach you how to make these quilted fabric bookmarks. I've already made two. This one is one fabric and then one on the back. This one I pieced together, which took more time but turned out super cool. And today I'm going to make three actually, out of this pieced together fabric. So you can see I just sewed strips together that I thought looked cute, and I think I can fit 3 bookmarks out of this piece. So what you need to have is obviously fabric for the back, and piece of cotton quilt batting. This stuff is pretty thin. It's not like the poofy polyester kind. I wouldn't use that because that'll just make your book pop open. If you don't have this, you can always use a piece of flannel. That would be even thinner. So that would work too for bookmarks. And you need some kind of fun trim or ribbon. I like to loop mine and make them short, but you could also make them long. You could put a bunch in there and make them long, and then you would want to just use fray check for the ends to make sure they don't ravel. Let me show you what that looks like. Oh, here it is. This is fray check, and it's like has the effects of like putting clear nail polish on the runs in your tights, but it dries clear, so it's better. I'll link to this in the notes below. Before we start, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any new videos or tutorials. Make sure to visit my blog, pincutsewstudio.com, where I always post tons of sewing content, free patterns, lots of beginner-friendly stuff, lots of skill-building stuff. So yeah, be sure to check me out there. Also, find me on Instagram at pincutsew. So let's get going. I made a little pattern here. You don't have to do that. You could just cut your fabric 2.5 inches by 7 inches. But I just think it's easier to use a pattern. So I think I can fit 3 here out of my fabric that I cut. I like to cut with a rotary cutter, but scissors is fine too. Can you hear my rotary cutter squeaking? That's so bad. Okay, there's 2. Okay, I love this pretty pile of scraps. Oops, dangerous. All right, so we're not actually gonna cut the backing out to size yet because it's just easier when you're using quilt batting because it can be so shifty, you know? Okay, let me just work on one for the tutorial purpose, and then I'll finish those other ones later. I think for my backing, I'm gonna use my flowery fabric if I can find it. And I can't. Oh, here we go. I'll use this black one. Okay, so I'm going to cut not to size. I lost my scissors. Does somebody have my sewing scissors? Oh, never mind. Found them. Okay. I'm just going to cut out roughly around this. And then I'm also going to cut a piece of batting. Let's go underneath my backing. Okay, the next thing I need to do before I start sewing is cut a piece of my ribbon. I really like this cute measuring tape, twill tape, so I'm gonna use this. For this one I used Jumbo Rickrack, which was also fun. Okay, so we're gonna pin this here at the top in the middle. You can go ahead and baste that on with a long, or just sew it on with a long machine stitch if you want to, but if you trust yourself, you don't have to. Okay, so then you're gonna turn this around, right sides together. So we have our batting, then our backing. If your mine's 2 pretty sides, but if you have a pretty right side and a wrong side, put the wrong side down. So it should be facing up, facing towards you, the pretty side. And then put your main piece right side down on top of all of that. So that's what your sandwich looks like. Sometimes people put the batting in between. That's not how it goes. Okay, so then we're gonna pin. And I'm gonna leave an opening for turning along one side. So if I start there, I'm gonna stop here. I like to put 2 pins where I'm gonna stop so I don't forget. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna go sew around this. I'm gonna start here at a 1/4 inch, go all the way around and stop here. Okay, here it is. I've sewn it. I've left my opening. If you've ever quilted before or used batting, you know that it's helpful to have a walking foot. This is a small enough project where you might get away with sewing it without one, but if you have trouble with it bunching up, then you need to get a walking foot and do it that way. But that's part of the reason why we did it this way instead of cutting these pieces to size, in case so everything shifts. You still have some, you won't be frustrated with it shifting. So I'm gonna cut this out, snipping the corners so they turn nicely. Okay, then you can reach inside, not between your lining and batting. I mean back and batting, but in between your front and back. Oops, look, my seam is coming apart. I'm gonna go back stitch that real fast. Okay, fixed. Now I'm going to reach inside here, start pushing it right side out. Okay, I like to use a chopstick. Found one, to gently poke out the corners. Can you guys hear my dryer? It's so loud. Okay. Now I'm gonna go press this real flat with my iron, and I'm going to fold this under as if I'd sewn it and press that flat too. Okay, I ironed it flat, and now I'm gonna go top stitch all the way around it, close to the edge like I did here. And this will also close up my hole. So then the next part will be, while I'm over there, I'm going to go ahead and quilt it. And this is what makes it nice and thin and easy to put in a book without the book popping open. So the more quilting, the better. I did less on this one, but I think I prefer the one I did with more. I was trying to frame the hands, which I think turned out really cool. So let's go see what I want to do on this one. Okay, I finished. It turned out really cute. I went ahead and did the same kind of quilting on this one that I did on this because I just think it lays the flattest and it looks really cute. Here's my back. I like how the yellow looks on the black and white background. So now I have 3 bookmarks, and I have 2 more I can make as gifts. Oh, if I didn't lose that. Here's one. These make the best presents because they're so easy. They're inexpensive to make if you have scraps laying around. They're easy to personalize because there's such cute fabrics out there nowadays. And so you can get fabrics to suit anybody, and you can gift them with books or journals or just by themselves. So I hope you all like this tutorial. Be sure and check out some of my other ones and visit my blog, pincutsewstudio.com, and I'll see you soon.